ช้2 เครื่องขออภัยนะคะโอเคค่ะOkay. Good afternoon. ค่ะ Jum Panida Punkatoค่ะ. I'm going to present the chapter 3 of my prospective research and analysis of self-destructive behaviors leading up to attempted suicide in Laurie Hall's Anderson's Winter Girls. So I'm going to cover research design, research method, population and samples, data collection procedures, and data analysis. So for the research design, planning to do qualitative method and it's, sorry อันนี้มันบังถุงเดี๋ยวแป๊บนึงนะคะขออนุญาต Okay. This study uses a qualitative descriptive design to identify, analyze, and describe factors contributing to adolescents' self-destructive behaviors leading up to attempted suicide portrayed in Laurie Hall's Anderson's Winter Girls 2009. This is the cover of the book. And for the qualitative method, the scope of this study is limited to self-injurious behaviors leading up to attempted suicide in the major character of Lear Overbrook. And it focuses on mild to severe self-injuries, especially eating disorders, anorexia, and self-mutilation, like self-cutting, and the related physical, mental, and social problems that arise from those behaviors. And she's from the like the family that her mom remarried, and some that contributing to her behaviors as well. So let's move to sorry, I lost my track. Okay, so next, the research method is the close reading method is employed in this research so that the brief passages of each text are interpreted and analyzed. And according to McNamara et al. 2007, close reading is a method that involves paying especially close attention to what is printed on the page by reading and analyzing parts of the text. And next, and in similar manner to reading, however, close reading is really an umbrella term which encompasses a variety of different strategies that can be used to obtain the goal. And one strategy is text coding. Therefore, text coding will be used to interpret and analyze the major characters, behaviors of self-destruction. And so I will skip this one. This is my population and my sample, and I will just go to data collection. The data refer to 52 excerpts that will be selected from the 65 chapters. The chapter is very short. Each of them will be like maybe one chapter is one page. So it's very, very short book. I mean, yeah, very easy to read. Some of the pages were blank, so doesn't have any letter, doesn't have anything written at all. That's very interesting as well. So I will move to the data collection procedures. First step, I'm going to read and some of the excerpts will be highlighted and focused. And after that, we'll be reading again, and those excerpts will be typed and printed out for the third step, which is rereading. And the chosen excerpts will, with the implementation of close readings method, to identify language representation. And language representation will be elaborated a little bit more in the following slide. So the 52 excerpts will be selected as research samples and rearranged according to their representation of self-injurious behaviors. And so the close reading method will be employed, as I mentioned earlier, and in this content analysis study as a scope of language analysis activity involving three main characteristics of the followings. The first one is read the passage, paying attention to how the character is described and portrayed, who speaks. Mainly will be about the protagonist, which is the major character, or Leah Overbrook. So the second step is consider the language used by the character, which is Leah Overbrook. What does she say? And the third step is to examine the assumptions underlying the language. And for data analysis will be the study attempts to answer the question of how self-destructive behaviors are described and portrayed. So data will be elaborated and analyzed to find out what types of language representation of self-destructive behaviors are used. And the coding will be measured through the inter-rater reliability from 3 external readers, including 2 native Thai and 1 native speakers of English. So in my area of study, which is literature. So, and the excerpts will be analyzed by using discourse analysis in the following manners. The first one is coding. Each excerpt will be coded to find language representation of self-injurious behaviors that leading up to suicide attempts. So she survived, in the story, she survived the suicidal attempt. I mean, she intended to commit suicide, but she survived. So we are going to find out which types of language used here. And then the obtained data will be rechecked for their reliability through the researcher and the advisor committee afterwards, which can be added more reliability by adding more people. I'm not sure, but yeah, your comments are most welcome, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So and the next one is categorization. So language representation of self-injurious behaviors leading up to suicide will be categorized and displayed in table that listing out in 3 major elements, including first, characterization of the protagonist. Because it's the novel, so I'm focusing on the character as well. And the second one is language used by the protagonist, which is the one that I'm studying. And then the third one is assumption underlying the language of self-injurious behaviors. And the last one is the statistical procedures. The statistics will be employed in the analysis of data. Consists of the first one is IOC, and the second one is just frequency, and the third one is the percentage of the frequency of each elements of language representation. And I have already prepared just about this. So I think that's it for my presentation. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, and thank you ค่ะนะจึงงงจึงต้องปิดไมค์อันไหนเนี่ย Okay, I stop sharing first. Should I stop sharing?
No problem.
Okay.
I
Let me
want
know
to
if you want me to go back and forth to.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I want to say that your research is interesting, and there are something that I want to know. I mean, there are a few points that I
Okay.
need to know. Yes. Okay. So you said that you're gonna use 3 external readers.
Probably yes. Yeah.
Yes. And how would you do it in terms of text coding? So you say that you will use close reading to
Method.
interpret,
Yes.
yes, the information from something that you have like 52 excerpts.
Excerpts. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
And so you're gonna use interpreter reliability, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, and then there are 3 external readers. So my question is, those 3 external readers are going to read the same technique that you use in your research.
There will be not no okay, maybe I didn't make myself clear enough. Okay, sorry. No, they are not going to use the same techniques. They will be evaluated after I analyzed and I interpreted. So is that answering your question? No.
As far as I know, if you want to use the external readers to study something that you are going to study, maybe they are required to do the same thing.
Oh, okay. You mean they're following the same steps or techniques that I used?
Yes, yes. Otherwise, there is no point of doing interpreter reliability. It was like you drink 3 glasses of water and then they are going to drink just only 1 glass of water. So how is it gonna be similar?
Okay.
Yes, something you do with your research and then you use the interpreter reliability, you have to let the external readers do the same thing.
Okay, wow, thank you. I should have sent you the slide last night so you can comment
okay,
in
no
advance.
problem. I can follow, no problem. And one more thing, I have a question about your statistical formula. Can you take a look back at your slides again?
Okay, sure. I think it's the last one. Is it this one?
Yes, your statistical formulas or procedures. So are you going to use like 3 formulas?
I think so.
IOC and frequency and percentage of frequency. So now I would say that your research is like a mixed method because you employ both qualitative and quantitative.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, my question is, who is going to do this process? I mean, use all 3 formulas here. Is it you? The external readers?
It's not only me, just so the external readers are required to do the same thing too.
Okay, so instead of using 3, I mean, there is just 1, maybe 1 is enough. I would recommend Cohen's kappa.
Cohen's kappa. Okay.
Yes, that would be one thing that we use in doing interpreter reliability here. So you use just 1, maybe 1 is enough.
So 3 of these are pointless, right? So I don't need them.
I don't say that it's pointless, but I think it's too much. I mean, Yeah, maybe you need just one because your research is big enough. You have both quantitative and qualitative already, and
Okay.
maybe this is not like PhD study, so you don't
Okay.
to,
So,
yeah.
so you see how expert I am in the statistic, right? I'm very good
Okay.
at that, right?
Okay.
I'm joking.
Okay. The next
Okay.
question is actually I have so many, but I'm trying to
Okay.
to say about some of them. Okay.
Okay.
My question is, how do you code these features? You read every sentence. You pay attention to all letters in the excerpts.
No, actually not. Um, oh yeah. Okay, can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay, my question is, are you going to read and scan every sentence in the excerpts in order to come up with all the features you want to study?
Yes, I think so.
So you think you have enough time to do everything, 52 excerpts, and
Um,
are you going to be sure that all the external readers, all the three people will do the same thing? Because 52 excerpts, I don't know. If you ask me to do it, I won't do it because I won't read all the 52 excerpts because um, it's like too much.
um,
And
excuse me.
how long?
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Um, to be honest, it is very short.
Okay. And
Yeah, 52 short excerpts, which is unlike, or maybe I will narrow them down. Instead of 52, I will just make them like shorter to make sure they are relevant, the most relevant ones, instead of a lot, 52. I think this is recommended by like maybe I Google it and then I think they are relevant, but most of them are
okay.
very short. Some will be just a few words in one excerpt.
A few words,
Because
you mean?
yeah, yes.
I see.
So they sound a lot, but they are the quality. I mean, yeah, the content inside is very brief and very easy to read. I think,
Okay.
in my opinion, as a reader.
Okay, I see. I understand that.
Okay.
And the next thing is, uh, are you going to pay attention to words or just only the representation of the behaviors?
Words and representations of behaviors, I think they are related. So that's why I am looking forward to pay attention to that after implementing the techniques that I plan to use.
Okay, I see. One last question. I really want to see your research title again.
Okay, sure.
And I'm going to make sure that it is relevant to your study or not.
Okay, here it is. Can you see it?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, I could see that there is one more word here, attempted suicide,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And how are you going to make sure that those self-destructives are leading to attempted suicide? And do they really say that those behaviors are the behaviors of someone who are likely to have this kind of behavior, I mean, destructive behavior and committing suicide in the end, in the story or in the excerpts?
Okay. It's psychologically speaking. Okay. As the um, if we analyze it in terms of psychological, her psychic or her psychology, which is this kind of behaviors like self-destructive behavior, especially eating disorders, cutting herself, and all these are one of the ways that will leading up to suicide, because they are starting up from a very teeny tiny small thing, very like just cutting up first, like cutting her wrists, and then by starving herself, which means she couldn't resist, or she's in the vulnerable point that she can't protect herself when she's in danger. So it's unintentional somehow, but in the book it's quite clear that she felt guilty because her best friend was in a coma, in a hotel room, calling her 32 times. She didn't pick up the phone, and she felt guilty that she made she's part of her friend's death, and they were competing to be the skinniest girls in the school. So her friend kind of in a serious condition first, so that's why she
understand that. Okay. But
yeah.
What if you can have just only self-destructive behaviors, and then you focus on just those behaviors only, and maybe you won't have to talk about attempted suicide at all?
Okay, yeah, that's one of my what you call dilemma too, because I was trying to see if this word sounded too much or sounded like very serious subject.
I mean you have already, you don't have to talk about attempted suicide. And if you talk about it, there are so many questions concerning about it. Maybe many people who are going to read your research gonna talk about, are you really sure that these people will eventually commit suicide after having this kind of destructive disorders?
Okay, yeah, sounds good to me. Thank you. So I will just delete the word leading up to suicides, right?
Yes, one is enough maybe. Yes.
Self-destructive behaviors in this book is enough, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you, Ha. Thank you so much.
Okay, and actually I saw you skip one slide, which is about sample.
Two. I skipped two.
Sample and population.
Yeah, would you like to see them?
Yeah, at first, at first glance, I thought that you are going to study something about people or about subjects or participants. So in terms of your research, you focus on text analysis or content analysis. Maybe you don't have to talk about samples and population at all. You can skip it. This is not about people. This is not about students or anything like that. You don't have to talk about it. Maybe you can talk just only text analysis or content analysis here.
So I'll just delete or cut it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Good one. I like it.
Thank you. อาจารย์มีอะไรเพิ่มเติมไหมคะ Any more?
Because she has presented to me in the morning session already ค่ะอาจารย์นง
Thank you
for your suggestion ค่ะ
Thank you ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะพี่นง
Who will be the next ธนากร right
Okay ค่ะ
Are you ready
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I haven't edited anything from your suggestion in the morning, but I'll stick to it first and I'll explain later. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, can you see my PowerPoint here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. My topic is a collocational error analysis in writing paragraph, in English paragraph writing written by Buriram Ratchapat University. In the morning session, we have talked about the sample and the population of this research, and I use only Faculty of Humanity and Social Science, but Ajahn Savarot recommended me to study on the another faculty as well. So I might change the topic to be the comparison of collocational error analysis between two faculties, but I will stick to it first. For the research design, this research design is a mixed method research design because it consists of qualitative data and quantitative data will be presented in this research. For the qualitative research design, I am attempting to analyze the collected data by coding the collocational errors from the student's writing and presents the finding into the categorization of types and causes of those errors. And for the quantitative research design, I will analyze the collected data by calculating the collocational errors from students' writing and present the resulting frequency and percentage. For the population and sample, the populations of this research is the second year English major students, Faculty of Humanity and Social Sciences, Buriram Ratchapat University, and the samples are 30 second year English major students, Faculty of Humanity and Social Science, Buriram Ratchapat University, who enroll in the course entitled Paragraph Writing in the first semester of academic year 2021, and they will be selected by using purposive sampling. I am considering using this sampling technique to choose the subject because all of the students had already attended the same classes and had nearly similar background knowledge of English, especially in English writing skills. It means that it will be essential to teach them about English grammar and the vocabulary to write for writing again. Plus, I use the purposive sampling technique because I have a criteria to choose the piece of writing that the piece of writing that doesn't have any collocational error will be excluded. For the research instrument that will be employed in this study is the 30 pieces of writing written by second year English major student, Faculty of Humanity and Social Science, Buriram Ratchapat University. And for the data collection, the paragraph writing, all participants will be assigned to write a paragraph writing, which consists of 150 to 500 words within 90 minutes by choosing one from 8 different topics. The 8 topics will be selected according to the course description of the paragraph writing course. The students are not allowed to use any kind of dictionary during the assignment. And after the writing is completed, the writing will be selected by excluding the writing that has less than 149 words. And as I mentioned earlier, the writing that doesn't have any collocational error will be excluded too. Then the rest of them will be used to as a sample of this study. For the data analysis, I have 4 procedures for the data analysis. The first one is coding error. After I gather all the samples, the researcher will check or go over all pieces of writing to look for error in order to that occur in the writing and mark all the error in the writing. Then the researcher will correct all the error in order to figure out the type of those errors. And after that, the checked version will be given to the research advisor to examine that and recheck before giving out to 3 experts of English language to check the types of error and sentences that corrected by the researcher again. And finally, later than that, the final coding will be adapted or edited according to the expert recommendations. The next procedure of data analysis is error categorization. After final coding, the researcher will categorize the collocational error into two main types according to the theoretical framework of Benson, which are the first one is lexical collocational error and the second one is grammatical collocational errors. When all types of collocational error are coded, the researcher may count it and analyze it and present it to be the percentage and frequency. The third procedure is coding causes of error. When categorizing the error is completed, the researcher will study all types of error to find out and analyze causes of error. It means that the causes means the problem that the university student have that cause the error. Then the research advisor will be asked to check all the causes or the problem coded from the researcher before proposing to the three experts of English to recheck the rightness of coding again. And the last procedure of data analysis is categorization of causes of error. After the last process, this is the last process. After the cause and the problem are coded, the researcher will analyze the whole categories of causes of errors and present the result in the form of frequency and percentage. And this is all my presentation. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Okay. I want to start from taking a look at your research title.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So maybe this is just my opinion and this is just my observation. So maybe you don't have to follow everything. Okay. My question is, how do you define the word error here?
The error means something that students do it wrong without knowing, without realizing that they did it wrong. You know, they don't know, they don't understand the language and they use it in an incorrect way.
Okay.
Without realizing that they're doing it in the wrong way. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now I understand your point, but you know, sometimes this is from my perspective and my understanding. You know, if you go to anywhere in the world, I mean, including the speaking countries as well, you might see that even native speakers also have errors in their writing. So I don't want to say that it's bad to have errors, but errors is like something that it's in the process of learning. It's in the process of developing the language, especially L2. So in recent research studies, we do not focus on errors or any kind of something like this. We do care about learner's language. So maybe if you adjust it a little bit, so maybe you can change it into the term interlanguage. Interlanguage is the process of learning a language by L2 students. They are developing the L1 and then they are going towards the L2. So the language is the mixtures between the L1 and L2 features. So it is either correct or incorrect. It's something in between L1 and L2. So maybe this is just my opinion. Maybe you can say that it's the interlanguage of learner language. Okay. Maybe you can say an analysis of interlanguage or an interlanguage study or something like that. Okay, an interlanguage study of collocation used in paragraph writing by English major students or something like that. Okay, this is one point. The second point is that so I forgot. I jotted down here. Okay, the word collocation.
Yes.
Okay. Collocation is quite new. I mean, in research studies. So what is your definition about collocation?
The definition of collocation?
Yes.
I think the collocation is the word that come together, like to convey the meaning, and it cannot be used other word or other word that combine together. Otherwise, it will convey another meaning.
Yes, you're right. So now, how are you going to expect to see collocations in your student writing within a length of 150 words to 550 words for one essay?
It's actually rather short to find a collocation.
Yes, that is my concern, because that's why I'm asking this, whether maybe within one piece of writing, you might see just only one or two collocations.
Yes, you're right. So I'm considering, and I'm still thinking about that. I'll change the sample to be like higher level, like third year or fourth year, and I might change the types of writing from paragraph writing to be an essay, which has like 1,000 words or something like that.
Okay.
I think.
You want to maximize your job? No, you don't have to. You don't have to do so. Maybe just try to take a look at something else. Why don't you take a look at something that is frequently used by students, such as the verbs do, make, have, and take. Maybe you find a lot of samples, because these are high frequent verbs used by students.
You mean I don't need to focus on error, but just focus on using collocation, right?
Yeah, I know it, because I mean, take has a feature of collocation. Make, have, do, they all have collocational samples. And something is that these verbs are in the list of high frequently used verbs, either by native or non-native speakers. If you take a look at these high frequency verbs, you might find a lot of information. But if you take a look just only collocation, you might come up with only a few samples, only a few information. Maybe if you change it into something else that is high frequency, it would be better.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, this is my suggestion. Maybe you can take a look at all the list of verbs used by non-native speakers, especially Thai. Okay, this is the second point. Okay, the third point is that you study a language or language use employed by non-native speakers, I mean Thai EFL students. Something we normally do in this field of research is that you should have a benchmark. If you do not have a benchmark, how are you going to do it? And how are you going to make sure that learner language is standard? Learner language is what should I say? You can't just only analyze students' language by itself. Maybe you should have a benchmark, I would say, or learner corpus from somewhere else, and then you compare it. And this corpus is written by native speakers of English. If you compare them, And you can say that your group of students may have some features that are different from features used by native speakers. Okay, I'm not sure, maybe you can, this is free. It is available in all, I mean, corpus like British National Corpus. They also have Learner Corpus and COCA, I mean, Contemporary American something. I cannot remember. I'll tell you if you want more information about it. Or even if the Learner Corpora at the University of Kobe, I'm not sure, by one of Japanese researchers. He also studied something about this. Okay, maybe you should have a benchmark as well. Okay, this is my third point. And my fourth point is, how are you going to tag? I mean, how are you going to examine each piece of writing?
You mean by I will check it by myself, like all of writing. After that, I will check it with research advisor and the 3 experts of English. Yeah.
Okay, I understand your point, but is it better if you can save time? You can save a lot of time by using like software.
Like corpus, some corpus program, like
yeah,
Encon
such
or
as
something.
Encon. Maybe it saves a lot of time for you. So something you said is that you tag manually by your hand and it gonna take a long time to finish. But if you ask your participants or your students to submit those writings in terms of text files, and then you analyze and use the program to process the information for you. And you type such as have, and then they're gonna have the concordance lines for you. Have combined with certain verbs, take combined with certain verbs, and then you will have like 250 lines, and then you can analyze that. No problem at all. And then you can save a lot of times.
Okay, that's really useful. Thank you.
Okay, this is something that you can do. Okay. So my last question is, how many pieces of writing are you going to collect?
At first, I'm thinking about 30 pieces of writing, but yeah, 30 pieces of writing.
From how many students?
From 30 students.
Okay, and
example.
one from each.
Yes, one of each.
Okay, and so can I take a look at all the topics again? The topics of writing.
Top. I didn't put it in here.
Yeah, because you mentioned something like 8 topics.
Yeah. There are 8 topics, different writing topics.
And are you going to let students choose their own topics?
Yes.
Okay, I want to give you this example. If one student going to write about global warming, okay, there are words that are relevant to global warming, verbs that are relevant to global warmings, and the other students or some students are going to write about what else? What should I say? Environmental problems. So they're gonna have the same features, but if the topics are different, words are also different as well. And how are you going to see the same thing from different or variety of topics?
I actually expected to identify the types of collocational error. So the type and causes, I mean, is not really rely on the words on the topic is mostly about the types and the causes of errors, because according to the framework that it has two like major two types of collocational error, which are lexical and grammatical, and there are some subtypes of each. But I think I'm not really sure that the word for different topics will influence these as well.
Okay, I understand it. And you are going to time them, right? Within 90 minutes for one piece of writing?
Yes.
I'm not sure whether time will have an impact on students' writing performance or not. Yeah.
So should I extend it or
I'm not sure.
cut out the time?
I don't know. Maybe if you time it, so there might be the impact on students' writing performance or outcomes. Yeah. Maybe you should have to find a way to deal with it. I'm not so sure about this because time limitation might have the impact or not. Yeah, it's maybe it's up to you. It's open to you whether you how you want it. Yes.
Okay, I'll take it to consider. Thank you.
Okay, that's it for my suggestions.
Okay, thank you very much for your suggestion. It's very useful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you ค่ะอาจารย์นนท์
ครับ
Would like to be the next ณัฐพัฒน์ ready to present
ครับ แชร์สกรีนไม่ได้ครับโฮสต์อนุญาตทีครับ
Oh, okay. Sorry about it because you just came in, so I forgot to make you become a co-host. I did now.
Thank you ครับ So everyone, can you see my presentation?
Yeah, it's clear. No problem.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm not my chapter 3 is about an analysis of illocutionary acts by Joe in slow animation. So let me talk about in my research. Yeah, I use mixed method. This is my research design. In this study, it's characterized as a descriptive qualitative because the nature of the study is focused on describing the type of illocutionary acts that performed by Joe in slow animation. And for the quantitative, in this study, the statistical method is used to classify and count the utterance produced by the main character to determine the percentage of the most dominant speech act. And the reason to conduct the research, for me, I'm interested in how the different people make the sense of the leaf, and the utterance produced by many people may have both literal and implied meaning. So the research of illocutionary acts in animation does perform a lot of things in it. It's still limited because I read a lot of the research that focus on the movie. So I would like to do in animations. And here is the research questions. My research question, the first one is what type of speech acts are found in slow animation script produced by the main character? Next, which are the most dominant speech act frequently used by Joe, the main character in slow animation script? And the last one is what are the purposes of Joe as the main character using speech act. And here is my research problems to describe the speech act which are produced by the main character in show animation script, to explain and analyze the most dominant speech act produced by the main character. The last one is to know and describe the purpose of the show. Yep. And the population, yeah, in this study, my population is all the utterance are performed by Joe in this animation. And my sample, yeah, this is 20 scenes that were selected by using purposive sampling method from the entire of the story. Then the method in my research, the method used in this research is descriptive qualitative, where the researcher describe and analyze the selected illocutionary acts which are taken from the script of the movie or of the animation, yeah, and then classify them according to type of illocutionary acts. And the obtained data were analyzed in terms of frequency to find the type of illocutionary acts which are dominantly occur in the show animation. And the data will be analyzed by collecting, selecting, and classifying the suitable occurrence with the method and relevant concept, especially by using John R. Searle taxonomy of illocutionary acts. And here is the data collection. The process of collecting the data is done through the following steps. First, I'm searching the animation and script. After that, I watch the animation thoroughly, reading the entire dialogue on script, choosing the illocutionary acts on the script, grouping the dialogue in relation of type of illocutionary acts, and then analyzing the data. After that, writing a report. And the instrument of the research, I use myself as an instrument, the main one, to get useful and accurate of required data. And in the research, descriptive, statistical, and interpretative technique are used as the technique of the data analysis. The descriptive technique is used to analyze the speech acts produced by the main character in the animation script by applying the theory of the speech act. After that, the statistical method is used to classify and count the utterance produced by the main character to know the percentage of the most dominant speech act used. Then the interpretative method is used to interpret the purpose of the main character using speech act according to the theory of the type of speech act. After that, three experts will check the correctness and the naturalness in each result. The first expert is Thai natives who are fluently in English, and the next one is the Thai native who are expert in pragmatic field or speech act, and the last one is an English native speaker. Yeah, the last step is to find the finding this by relating those findings to the goal of the study. Yeah, that's all my presentation.
Okay. There are some points that you need to clarify. Okay, let's start with your. Can I see your research title again?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you change your title a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. From the whole story into the main character.
Okay, I see. So now you are focusing on just only illocutionary acts
ครับ
okay and in your slide I mean you use speech acts and also pragmatics interchangeably sometimes you prefer pragmatics and sometimes you prefer speech acts
Oh, yeah, because speech act is a branch of pragmatic.
yeah
So, may I focus on only speech act?
yeah you can either focus on just only speech act or pragmatics because actually pragmatics is the umbrella term for speech acts maybe if you want to cover everything you just use pragmatic including this one you don't have to focus on just only illocutionary acts maybe you focus on pragmatics yes and then you
to
and
wide?
you have to define it what it means by pragmatics
Okay, ครับ
yes maybe because I am a bit confused when I read your paper and because sometimes you mention speech acts and then sometimes you mention pragmatics okay maybe just focus on one
โอเคครับ
yeah so how are you going to define the word pragmatics here are you going to study the meaning or are you going to study the actions or the behaviors of your in-soul animation?
Yeah, I'm going to categorize about the illocutionary acts, like in terms of like permissive illocutionary acts that, and expressive or something. There are 5 types of illocutionary acts. I want to group it, like which type that the main character use it in this animation.
Okay.
I just want to classify it.
Okay, I see. And did you take a look at the previous research studies employing these strategies or not?
Yeah, I read some kind of this research, but the previous study that do with movie, like.
And how did the researcher do the research?
They read the script and then they code like the utterance that occur in that movie, yeah, and they code into the type of illocutionary acts, which type, and then they count which one is dominantly, which one is the most frequently used, and they rank it into percentile.
Okay, so my question here is that because the original research that you got an idea from, they take a look at the movie, right? And what about your study? Are you going to watch the animation, like animation movies, or is it in a comic books or anything like that?
This one is animation, yeah, that's released on last year.
Okay, and how many volume or how many episodes are there?
In the script there are like 52 scenes. According to the script, I download the script, and the animation is the what I say, it's 1.5 hours.
How many episodes again?
It's only one. Only one,
right?
Yeah, it's only one episode.
Is it enough if you watch just only one episode?
It have only one. It's a
okay. You mean Joe character here in Soul Animation? There is just only one episode.
No, sorry. Joe is the main character. He run the animation. Yeah, he come like all the time.
And you mean how? I'm confused. How many episodes are there?
I'm not clear what do you mean about the episode.
I mean, episodes mean like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, just one hour and a half or not?
Sorry
เต้
for the
เต้ครับอาจารย์หมายถึงว่ามันมีกี่ตอน
มันเป็น full animation มี
มัน
แค่เดียวมันเป็น animation
long movie
เป็น long เหมือน movie ครับ
Oh,
and a
okay,
half
that's
hour
one.
ครับ
That's one,
That's
right?
only one ครับ
Okay, I see. I understand your point now. So that's why I want you to clarify between speech acts and pragmatics, because if you want to focus on pragmatics, so there are something more that you can study, because if you see like movie or animation movies, you can take a look at how the character performs an action. Okay, for example, I want to give you an example. If you say, oh, I like your shirt, and then the speaker stretch his hand to the listener. So you can study something about the action and then like non-verbal language. So you could include non-verbal language into your pragmatic studies as well. But in one time, the speaker just speaks one sentence and does not perform any action. But in the other time, the speaker speaks and does perform an action. Do you understand my?
Yeah. I got it. But
Okay.
Is it okay if I just narrow down to only locutionary acts?
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I want to say that if you talk about speech acts, I mean, it's quite old in my opinion. Yes,
okay.
because the current research study, they focus more on like pragmatics or something. But
okay.
it is not forbidden to use it, but maybe you can consult with your research advisor whether you want to use elocutionary acts, speech acts, or pragmatics.
Okay.
Yes, but in my opinion, it's quite an old term.
Okay.
Maybe if you have two things, one is quite old and the other is new, maybe it's better to use the new one or something that people want to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, now I want to see your research methodology again.
Moment.
Okay, now I could see that you will use the descriptive qualitative to study elocutionary acts. And my question is, how are you going to do it?
Really?
I mean, I want to know how you are going to do it.
Like to describe the elocutionary acts, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because in the theory, according to Austin, he stated that elocutionary acts divide into 5 types. So I'm going to classify it the utterance. I will choose the utterance.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The reason I'm asking you this question is because you know, in doing research, we normally try to fill the gap. So you might have heard a lot about this one, because in doing any research, there is like previous research studies, and then you are going to conduct one research study. So you need to read, and then you need to find the gap that someone else or no one else does it before.
Mm-hmm.
So filling the gap here means, what will you get from doing this research? Yeah, what is the purpose of doing this? I could say that your friends like Panida, they're gonna have like something new from what she will do, and including Tanagon as well. That would be something new from what they are going to do. But my question is, when you do this research, what is something new that you expect to find?
Oh, yeah, and
If you find something that is already in the previous study, so my question is, what is the purpose of doing the research if you don't find anything new?
Okay ครับ
Yeah, this is my question. So what is your ultimate goal in doing this research?
In doing this research, yep, it's the animation. Yeah, when I finish this research, maybe the result would adapt into the classroom, yeah, to inspire or to use for the teacher that's going to teach about the speech act.
Okay,
Yep, they can use about that, and in the real situation, which one is the most frequently used in situation, because I rank it according to animation. Yeah, I rank it which one is the most frequently used. So
okay.
yeah, and maybe
you mean you will get some like research implications or something that you will have, and then you're gonna use that knowledge in your classroom.
Yes, like animation can catch the student attention, so maybe the teacher can adapt this research into the class. About the speech acts.
I see. What if you do it and compare it with the animation in Thai? Because this is just my opinion. That's why I'm asking you this question. If you do one, I'm not sure about the origin of this animation movie. Is it from the English-speaking country like UK, USA?
It's from Disney. It's from UK.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure whether we have this kind of animation in the Western world. If you can compare between the Eastern world and the Western world and see how they have this kind of actions or yeah, it's quite difficult to pronounce, illocutionary acts, yes. And compare it, because there might be some differences between Western ideas and Eastern ideas, and then you will get a lot from that if you compare two things.
Okay,
this is just my suggestions. Okay,
that sounds interesting.
You can take a look at the animation by Japanese companies, and I think the idea of illocutionary acts, are there. Yeah, the ideas are there, and then you can compare the ideas behind the acts by one character in Western animation and one character in Eastern animation.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether you can do it, but it's gonna be something good if you can compare the two ideas, because Oriental and Western are different in terms of beliefs and culture. Okay, and that's it about my comment and suggestion.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Very interesting ค่ะอาจารย์กอกิจบุญ Thank you. So
I hope they like it. I'm not sure whether they like it.
Really like
you
it.
can
yeah.
share.
It's very useful.
Yeah, we do. Really.
Yeah,
you
like
can
you
share
you
as far as you
inspired us
can.
Yeah.
to to look
That's
some
fine.
more aspects.
You can
Okay,
choose.
thank you.
Yeah. Pimpika, right? Pimpika, ready? Okay.
Pimpika. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pimpita Ponchai. I would like to present the methodology of the research topic is using an online game application booklet to enhance grade 9 student grammar ability. The research design is one group pre-test, post-test design. And the population and sample. The population of this study are 50 grade 9 students from the two classes who study basic English. Course in first semester of academic years 2021 at Saigavitia School in Prasad District, Surin Province, under the Secondary Education Service Area Office Surin. How to random the sample. One classes from two classes select by cluster random sampling. And the instrument I use lesson plan is included with 12 lesson plan grammar. And next, I use an achievement test, pre-test, and post-test for the 14 multiple choice tests and the satisfaction questionnaire. The data collection. First, I prepare the student to do the pre-test in one period, and then I will teach the student grammar through game for 12 periods. After that, I will let the student do the post-test and questionnaire. The data analysis. The data obtained from the exercise, the pre-test and post-test, in order to evaluate the student English proficiency before and after teach through grammar by using games. The pre-test and post-test will compute for mean and standard deviation. The score obtained from the exercise and the post-test will calculate to find out the efficiency of process E1 and the efficiency of the outcome E2 respectively. Dependent sample t-test will use to compare the difference between pre-test and post-test mean score to detect a significant difference set at 0.05. And the data obtained from the satisfaction questionnaire in order to evaluate the student satisfaction toward learning grammar game. The data from 5 rating scale will compute for X bar and SD. And the qualitative data for the final part of questionnaire, the data obtained by learner opinions and suggestions will find out their satisfaction and reaction toward learning grammar by using games. And the last one, statistic used in this research. I use percentage, mean, standard deviation, and dependent sample t-test. And this is all my presentation.
Okay. Can I take a look at your research title? Okay, I have a question about the application booklet. So I don't really know. I mean, I myself don't really know this application. So can you give me brief information about it? How does it work?
It's work like as a game. Teacher can create the set of the question. It's only the multiple choice for the student. For example, I want to teach simple tense, and then I create the set of simple tense for 20 multiple choice for them to practice in the.
So, what do you mean by grammar ability?
Grammar ability is about they can use the subject and verb or part of speech correct in the sentence.
Just focus on the sentence level only?
Yes.
Okay. And do they have to perform any action at all? So this is like online learning, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So my comment is about the word grammar ability. So to me, grammar ability here is too broad. Maybe you can narrow it down a bit. What type of grammar or what language functions you want to focus on? Maybe you should be more specific about it. Yes. Can you clarify? So I don't know the content that you are going to teach for grade 9 students. So it's difficult to say.
I will teach like as the ends or part of speech.
Okay. Okay. This is like just focusing on forms, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you also teach them about meaning of the sentence?
Yes, meaning and function.
Okay.
And form.
Okay. And can you give me one lesson that you're gonna have?
One lesson.
Yes, just brief information about one lesson so that I can give you more information about it, because upon taking a look at it, I don't have an idea.
For the lesson for simple tense.
Okay.
Present simple tense.
Okay, give me one sentence, please.
I get up at 6 o'clock.
Okay, and how this sentence is going to portray in your application, I mean booklet? Is that only a sentence, or is there any picture information there, or it just only the sentence in the program?
I will use the picture like someone who will get up from the bed, and I have the sentence Garfield I ... at 6 o'clock, and then the student can pick the get up, got up, get like that to correct the sentence.
อาจารย์ก่อกิจบุญคะ would you like her to present her program?
Yes. So I can have an idea.
To make it clearer ค่ะ พิมพิกา let's show your program to อาจารย์ก่อค่ะ
อาจารย์พี่นงค่ะมันจะคล้ายๆกับพวกKahoot แล้วก็ quizzes อะไรพวกนี้ค่ะ
เหมือน quizzes ครับ
โอเค
ค่ะประมาณนี้เลยค่ะ
and this is my set. And then I click host for play. Okay, I will show the creation. and teacher can set the creation like that.
Okay, and you have a picture too, right?
Yes, this is the picture and this my creation.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay. Okay.
We can set the time for this.
Okay.
And then if we want the student to do the activity with host, in my school we have the PC, the computer PC in the English room for around 40, and then I will let the student sit there to do the activity. Or if someone have the smartphone, I will let them to do with their smartphone. This is for the style or use to the student can play.
Okay.
Yes, for classic like Kahoot. And then I will give the ID to the game or copy link here to give the student joy.
Okay.
Like that.
And can you time them for this?
Yes, I set the time them.
Okay. Okay, I understand your point and I understand the context you are going to use now. So let's go back to your slide again. Okay, now I think maybe you can change it into something else instead of like grammar ability. Maybe you can focus more on like language functions, because in your programs I would see that you have conversations, you have pictures, and then it's more like grammatical functions. Yes, it's more like grammatical knowledge that students can use in their daily life. But I'm not sure about the terms because grammar is too broad. I mean, grammatical functions, probably. Yes, grammatical functions might be more suitable. Grammatical functions with the S. Okay. FUC. Yes, and S, functions at the end. Yes, and you can define it in terms of communicative language, teaching or whatever, because if you focus more just only the concrete point, okay, I mean, grammar is quite concrete. I mean, it's not flexible enough when you use, okay, maybe if you use grammatical functions, you can talk more in terms of linguistic competence or grammatical knowledge in context, and it's more like recent approach instead of grammar translation method, because grammar ability sounds an old-fashioned to me, I would say. Okay, now you can have grammatical functions, you can define it and then add more information about CLT or what linguistic competence or something like that. You can search more for the information. Okay, now I want to take a look at your research questions and purposes.
Research question. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. I forgot my research question. My research question is, what is the efficiency of using online game-based learning toolkit in English grammar? And will the 7 students who learn English grammar through online game-based toolkit have higher grammar competency? And how the student satisfaction in learning English grammar through online game-based learning toolkit?
Okay, now I see your points. So take a look at your research question number 1. So it means you want to test, to testify whether the program is good enough or not, right?
Yes.
So what is the point of doing this? Because it has been used and you can see that a lot of schools use it and then students enjoyed it. So I don't know whether you want to testify it again or to see whether it is good enough for your students.
I want to see it's good enough for my student because it's the new program when I see.
Uh-huh.
In,
And do you know anyone who used it before?
I saw from the YouTube, they have some teacher use it.
I think this is not the purpose of your study. Maybe from your research study or from your research title, you use it as the research tool, right? Or program to give something new to your population or sample. And maybe you just focus on something that you will get from this program. Research question number 2 and number 3 are reasonable enough to take a look at, because you are not the what should I say, the computer engineer or anything like that in order to test whether the program is good enough for anyone. If you are like computer engineer, you might want to study something like this, but you are the user. You use the program. Is it okay? I mean,
Yes.
do you understand my point that we are just a group of people who use the program that has been developed for us for educational purposes?
Yes.
Okay, maybe 2 is enough. Okay, you just want to see the grammatical competency and also the student satisfaction. I think it's fine. Okay, so now let's take a look at the format or the research design. How are you going to employ this program in your research?
Research design. This is my research design. I would like to do the pre-test one period before I'm teaching, and then I will use the grammar lesson plan by teaching through games for 12 period to teach the student. And after that, I will let the student do the protest and the questionnaire.
Okay. And how are you going to select your sample?
I select the sample from random cluster random sampling.
Okay, that is my question because I saw it, but suddenly I forgot what I want to ask. But now you remind me of something I wanted to ask. Okay, can you give me the meaning of cluster random sampling, please?
The cluster random sampling is from the group because in
What?
my
Uh-huh.
because we have the big group in the same level.
Uh-huh. How
And
many
then,
groups are there?
We have 2 groups for the grade 9 student, and then I will shoot 1 group for teaching.
Uh-huh. So there are that's why this is my question, because you have just only 2. How is it possible to have or to mean a group? Because it's gonna be like a group might have like 3, 4, 5, or 6. Cluster means a large group of something, and then you select some of them from a big group. But for your population, you have just only 2 groups, and then you select one. I'm not sure whether it's still called cluster random sampling or not. Do you see my point?
Yes, because I have to try to pick the to pick the sample, and how could I do? Because I have to teach for one class and 2 class.
And you use just only one out of the 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you have them all? This is my opinion. You don't have to follow, but I think it's better to use both groups, and then one group you have this program with your lesson, and the other group you have this program which does not focus on grammatical functions, and see how it works. Because if you have one group with your treatment and the other group without the treatment, so you know that the group with your treatment might have higher performance in the end for sure. But if you have different treatment, I mean group 1 with one treatment and the other with another treatment, and then you compare the 2, and then this is something we do because in the past, if we have, okay, let's say this in Thai กลุ่มทดลองกับกลุ่มอะไรนะควบคุมใช่ไหมครับ okay, they're gonna have one without treatment and one with treatment. So in the end, you know that the one with treatment might have higher performance. So now we are trying to see whether the group with different treatments might have the same performance or not. And then you change it into purposive sampling. And you come up with a list of criteria for both groups. Okay, instead of using cluster random sampling, you use purposive sampling, and then you come up with all the list of criteria that match the students' characteristics, and then use both groups as part of your study. And one with maybe treatment 1 and the other with treatment B or whatever, and see how it works in the end of the program.
โอเคค่ะ
พอจะเห็นภาพไหมครับ
พอจะเห็นภาพอยู่ค่ะ ก็คือ
ขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยหน่อยละกันเนาะเพราะว่าคืองานวิจัยสมัยก่อนเนี่ยอันนี้มันคืองานวิจัยสมัยก่อนเนี่ยเขาก็จะมีแบบกลุ่มทดลองกับกลุ่มควบคุมใช่ไหมครับซึ่งทดลองเนี่ยเราก็จะใส่ทรีทเมนต์เข้าไปพอควบกับกลุ่มอีกอันหนึ่งไม่ได้ใส่คือผลออกมาเนี่ยมันก็แน่อยู่แล้วว่ากลุ่มที่ใส่ทรีทเมนต์เข้าไปน่ะมันก็จะได้ผลที่สูงกว่าอยู่แล้วในยุคหลังๆมาเขาก็จะนิยมให้บอกว่าให้ใส่ทรีทเมนต์ทั้ง2กลุ่มมาแหละแต่ให้ใส่คนละแบบเพื่อจะดูว่า in the end you're gonna have something more fruitful for both groups and then you have a lot to say about the program whether it has an impact on your students' performance or not
อาจารย์ may I ask ค่ะถ้าหนูขอถามภาษาไทยนะคะ
ครับ
ถ้ากรุ๊ปวันเนี่ยเป็นกลุ่มทดลองที่เราจะใช้โปรแกรมเนี้ยแต่สอนแกมมาแล้วกรุ๊ปทัวร์ค่ะเราก็ใช้โปรแกรมบุ๊กเลตเหมือนกันสอน
เหมือนกันแต่ไม่ได้โฟกัสในเรื่องที่เราจะทดลองครับจะเป็นอีกอย่างหนึ่งครับเป็นทรีทเมนต์ต่างกันเอาอย่างนี้ดีกว่าครับอาจจะใส่คนละทรีทเมนต์น่ะแต่ว่าเป็นโปรแกรมเดียวกันอาจจะต้องไปคิดว่าทรีทเมนต์ที่เราจะได้ออกมาเนี่ยนะครับมันจะต่างกันตรงไหนแต่ขอให้มีทั้ง2อันมีทรีทเมนต์แต่ทรีทเมนต์ที่ต่างกันครับอาจจะต้องไปคิดเพิ่มนะเพราะว่าผมไม่รู้ว่าผมเพิ่มงานให้เราหรือเปล่าแต่ว่าอันนี้คือมันก็จะเห็นมากกว่าการที่บอกว่าอีกกลุ่มหนึ่งมีแล้วอีกกลุ่มหนึ่งไม่มีอันนี้เป็นแค่ความคิดเห็นของผมเนาะดังนั้นเนี่ยอาจจะต้องไปถามอาจารย์ที่ปรึกษาอีกที so you have to consult with Pimpika you may have to consult your research advisor again this is just my suggestions
อาจารย์พี่นงคะ unfortunately we haven't been assigned as the research advisor yet so this is like all directions
okay
yeah so that's why we've been listening to your suggestions and we still keep this valuable advice for ourselves as well not just for Pim we think that this is very useful for all of us not just for the presenter
okay
so, so
thank you
as long as we haven't been assigned the advisor yet so you might be one of our advisor ก็ได้นะคะ
okay thank you okay this is my suggestion นะครับ Pimpika okay maybe you can take it into considerations and come up with treatment A and treatment B for your program
โอเคค่ะ
แล้วอย่างที่ผมบอกแหละขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยหน่อยแล้วกันเนาะก็คือหมายความว่าถ้าเราใช้ treatment ที่ต่างกันเนี่ยเราจะดูว่าโปรแกรมอันเนี้ยเราสามารถบอกได้ว่ามันเหมาะกับ treatment แบบไหนโอเคเอาอย่างนี้แล้วกัน treatment ที่สอน grammatical functions อย่างเดียวแต่ไม่ได้เห็น context คือไม่มีรูปภาพอะไรสักอย่างเลยอะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็ได้ครับกับอีกอันหนึ่งที่เป็น grammatical functions แล้วมันมีรูปภาพมันมีสถานการณ์ให้เราเห็นว่าใช้ในบริบทไหนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยหรือถ้ามีกับไม่มีมันเหมือนหรือต่างกันยังไงลองไปคิดก็ได้ครับ the one with treatment A with just only grammatical functions but you do not have pictures you do not have like animations in it okay and in the end you may have surprise outcomes such as both work well whether having pictures or animations
thank you ค่ะอาจารย์
okay that's it for my suggestion ครับ
thank you ค่ะ
Okay, we are waiting for our second to last presenter.
อาจารย์พี่นงคะ we have one slide that the presenter herself is not available should I just present the slide to you one slide each, and then you can take a quick look and then give a comment afterwards. Is that okay?
Oh, okay. The presenter is not here, right?
Yeah, she's not here, but she sent us her slide to our group. อ๋อพี่หนุ่มพร้อมหรือยังคะพี่หนุ่ม
ได้จ้ะ
โอเคเดี๋ยวให้พี่หนุ่มก่อนแล้วก็ให้ของหนิง
Okay, good. I want to have like a 5-minute break because
ได้ครับได้ดีกว่า
ได้
ดีกว่า
ค่ะ
ครับเบรกดีกว่า
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay เป็นไงพิมพ์สงสารโอเค
ดีมากเลยทำให้หนูเคลียร์ขึ้น
ได้อันนี้
พิมพิกาก็แค่เลือกโปรแกรมที่มันสามารถจะเทียบเคียงได้กับอันนี้เท่านั้นนะคะเป็นคอมพิวเตอร์ก็ได้แต่ว่าดูซิว่าอะไรที่มันตอนนี้มันอินเทรนด์เนาะแล้วก็มาเปรียบเทียบกันดูซิว่าอะไรจะดีกว่าอะไรจะเหมาะกับเด็กเรามากกว่ากันนี้ค่ะ
ใช้คาฮูดกับบุ๊กเลตได้ไหมคะ2 โปรแกรมห้องหนึ่ง2 โปรแกรม
ค่อนข้างใกล้กับอันนี้เนาะเอาอะไรที่มันแบบ
หรือว่า quizzes
ไป
ไหม
หน่อยอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะอาจารย์เขาอยากจะให้เหมือนกับว่าเป็นการเปรียบเทียบวิธีการ2 วิธีการเนาะว่าอะไรจะดูเหมาะสมกว่ากันอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแทนที่จะเป็นแบบใช้กับไม่ใช้เนาะซึ่งมันโบราณแล้วอย่างที่อาจารย์บอกเพราะว่าตอนนี้เขาจะชอบแบบเอามาประชันกันว่าวิธีการไหนดีอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
อย่างนี้ค่ะอาจารย์
เราต้องทำงานไป2 เท่าแล้วพิมพิกาใช่ไหม
ค่ะได้ค่ะหนูกำลังคิดว่าถ้าไม่ใช้โปรแกรมคอมพิวเตอร์กับอันหนึ่งหนูจะเล่นเกมกระดาษแบบให้ต่อจิ๊กซอว์คำศัพท์นะคะเช่น I 1 แผ่น M 1 แผ่น1 แผ่น student เนี่ยค่ะมันเป็นเกมธรรมดากับเกมที่ใช้เทคโนโลยีอย่างเงี้ยค่ะได้ไหมคะ
น่าจะเป็นเขาเรียก conventional กับนี่แหละกับเทคโนโลยีน่าจะแต่มันก็เห็นผลก็ไม่แน่เนาะว่า unconventional อาจจะ work well กับเด็กเราก็ได้
ที่เล่นเกมนี่ไม่ conventional นะคุณจุ๋ม
เหรอคะอาจารย์
conventional ก็คือไอ้นั่นนะ lecture นะคะ
lecture อย่างเดียวถ้ามีเกมเข้ามานี่เรียกว่าเป็น new อันนี้แล้วใช่ไหมคะ
อันนี้ก็เป็น communicative นะที่คุณพิพิธาจะใช้นะคะที่เอาเกมกระดาษมาต่อกันนะคะ
ค่ะให้หาศัพท์
activities เนาะ
โอเคลองเปรียบเทียบ
ลองไปศึกษาดูซิว่าอันไหนที่มันพอจะเอามาใช้ได้ที่เราไม่หนักเกินไปเลยค่ะเนาะก็อาจารย์ก็เสนอแนะดีอ่ะทำให้งานเราดูน่าสนใจขึ้นเนาะ
ใช่ค่ะ
มีมิติมากขึ้นค่ะ
ใช่
ไม่ใช่ไปแบบแบนด้านเดียว
ใช่เพราะว่าบางทีเรามองในมุมของเราก็คิดว่านี่มันโอเคแล้วเราความสามารถเราเท่านี้อะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะพอได้คอมเมนต์เราก็เพราะว่าอย่างหัวเรื่องที่อาจารย์แนะนำจุ๋มก็ชั่งน้ำหนักอยู่นะคะว่าจุ๋มจะเอาคำนี้ออกดีไหมอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแต่ก็โอเคเรามาฟังคอมเมนต์ก็เลยเอาอะไรที่แบบว่าใส่มาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแต่ก็คิดตรงกันกับอาจารย์อยู่ว่าเราจะตัดคำนี้ออกอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
มันค่อนข้างยาวเนาะแล้วมันทำให้งานของเราแคบใช่ไหมของคุณจุ๋มเนาะถ้าโฟกัสไปที่community suicide อย่างเดียวเนาะ
ก็เอาcomment suicide ออกไปเลยอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะอาจารย์อะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็มันจะได้ดูไม่ฟังแล้วมันไม่น่ากลัวเท่าไหร่อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
การนำเสนอแบบนี้แล้วให้คนอื่นที่เขาไม่ได้เคยเห็นงานเรามาก่อนแล้วเนี่ยจะได้ประโยชน์แบบนี้ค่ะถ้าเกิดว่ามันไม่ชัดเจนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอาจารย์เขาก็จะถามทำให้เรารู้สึกว่ามันยังไม่ชัดเหรออะไรอย่างเงี้ยนะคะถ้าจะดีนะครูอยากแนะนำว่าถ้าเราจะไปพรีเซนต์งานเนี่ยให้ไปพรีเซนต์งานก่อนที่จะสอบ3 บทเราจะได้อะไรดีเยอะแล้วเราไม่ได้หลงทางคือถ้าเราไปพรีเซนต์ว่าเราครบ5 บทแล้วคือมันแก้อะไรไม่ได้แล้วอะค่ะมันก็เหมือนกับว่าเราทำเสร็จไปแล้วเนาะมันไม่มีประโยชน์ที่จะแก้ถ้าเป็นไปได้เราไปเอา proposal ของเราเนี่ยค่ะเราไปงานไปคอนเฟอเรนซ์เนี่ยมันจะได้ประโยชน์แบบนี้ค่ะทำให้งานของเราดีขึ้นมากๆก่อนที่เราจะเริ่มเก็บข้อมูลเนาะ
อาจารย์คะขออนุญาตถามค่ะอาจารย์ได้ส่งบทที่1ไปให้อาจารย์พี่หน่งอ่านอยู่ใช่ไหมคะ
ค่ะส่งไปแล้ว
เขาก็จะเห็นเขาโครงเราคร่าวๆว่าเรา
เตรียมคำถามมาให้ดี
ค่ะเต้บอกว่าที่ส่งให้อาจารย์ไม่อัปเดตข้อมูลที่เขาจะทำใหม่นี่
โมเดิร์นกว่านี้เยอะนั้นอีก
ค่ะมีเวอร์ชันนะอัปเดตกว่านี้อีกค่ะ
เปิดมาอาจารย์ถามเลยครับเปลี่ยนหัวเรื่องใช่ไหม
ที่พรีเซนต์วันนี้อัปเดตแล้วเหรอ
ครับเปิดมาอาจารย์ถามเลยผมเปลี่ยนหัวเรื่องใช่ไหมบอกครับ เปลี่ยนนิดหน่อยผมสโคปเข้าไปที่เมนคาแรคเตอร์ครับที่ส่งไปมันเป็นแบบทั้งเรื่องครับ
ทั้งเรื่
ตัว
อง
ละครใช่
เปลี่ยนนิดเดียวแค่ตรงนี้เหรอ
ใช่แล้วที่พอสโคปไปแล้วทีนี้มันก็มันก็แคบลงครับแต่ทีนี้ผมสนใจที่อาจารย์เสนอแนะมาว่าแบบ ถ้าดูเป็นแบบดูให้กว้างเป็น pragmatic เลยดูเป็นแบบ non verbal กับ verbal ด้วย
ใช่เพราะว่าอะไรรู้ไหม
มันก็
ที่
จะ
นัทพัฒน์ทำอ่ะของรุ่นพี่เราทำมาเยอะแล้ว มันไม่มีอะไรใหม่อย่างที่ครูเคยบอกเนาะ
ครับ
ว่าจริงๆแล้วมันน่าจะมีประเด็นอะไรที่ใหม่ๆมั้งไม่งั้นเราก็จะทำซ้ำๆกันเพียงแต่ว่าเปลี่ยนเรื่องเปลี่ยนหนังเป็นละครเป็น
ใช่
ซีรีส์อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
แล้ว
เป็นเพลงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยซึ่งมันก็ไม่ได้มีอะไรใหม่เนาะอย่างของอาจารย์เขาจะเป็นลักษณะเป็น pragmatic ใช่ไหมก็ไปศึกษา non
ต้องลอง
verbal ด้
ต้
ว
อง
ย
ลองดูใช่ครับว่าแบบเป็นถ้าเป็น non verbal มันจะยังไงเพราะว่า
แต่ถ้าเป็นอย่างนั้นก็คือว่าเราก็ต้องอาศัยอาจารย์ฝรั่งแหละ เพราะว่าคนไทยไม่เข้าใจหรอก
ใช่ครับ
non-verbal
ด้วยความที่มันเป็น
มันไม่ใช่
gesture
เป็นวัฒน
อะไร
ธ
อ
รร
ย่าม งเงี้ยค
เรา
รับ
มือไม้แบบนี้แปลว่าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ คนไทยไม่เก็ตเพราะเราไม่ใช้ท่าทางอยู่แล้ว ก็ดีนะน่าสนใจ ก็ได้ไอเดียก็ลองไปปรับเท่าที่ปรับได้ไม่ใช่ ปรับทุกอย่างที่อาจารย์บอกอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเราก็ดูว่าอันไหนที่เราสามารถทำได้ แล้วมันเป็นประโยชน์นะเราเห็นด้วยก็ทำ
ก็มีความเห็นสอดคล้องกับอาจารย์อยู่ 2-3 เรื่องค่ะอย่างเรื่อง statistics ที่เราจะใช้บางทีเราก็ไม่ได้ศึกษาแบบละเอียดค่ะว่ามันเหมาะกับงานประเภทที่เราจะทำหรือเปล่าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะก็เดี๋ยวต้องไปศึกษาเพิ่มเติมที่อาจารย์แนะนำมาที่เนี้ยค่ะเพราะว่าบางทีเราก็ใส่ไปให้มันดูเว่อร์ๆวังๆอลังการไปก่อนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแต่ว่าใช้จริงหรือไม่ใช้จริง
ถ้ามีโอกาสคุณจุ๋มก็อาจจะล็อกคอแกให้เป็นเอ็กซ์เพรสก็ได้
อ๋อแต่จุ๋มก็เล็งไว้หลายๆคนอยู่ค่ะอาจารย์มีของมอุบลด้วยค่ะอาจารย์
ก็ใช้ให้เป็นประโยชน์นะคะเนาะอาจารย์เขาน่าจะยินดีให้คำแนะนำ
โอเคกลับมาแล้วครับ
คุณหนุ่มพร้อมไหมคะ
ทำเป็นหรือเปล่าไม่รู้ลองดูนะครับ
ครับ
โลเทคนะสวัสดีครับคุณครูโปเกมอนสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
เห็นไหมครับทุกคน
เห็นค่ะพี่หนุ่มกำลังมาค่ะ
เหรอ Okay. Good afternoon, Professor, and our friends. So, last but not the least, I believe that Jim's got someone else to show up as well. And my title, typical me, is not my first, my second, perhaps my third. This one is needs analysis for English teacher student style and student learning motivation. That's by me. So, hopefully, this is not going to be my last, but perhaps some amendment going on after this, so I give me some idea to further my thesis on this. I'm very much new to this. So the methods of this research is a qualitative research, having resorted to descriptive research design with a view of to clarify the needs of both teacher and student and stakeholders by means of adapted questionnaire with open-ended questions. The following are the details of methodologies, and I'm going to move on to the next slide. So the population and participants, so is this involved M3 to M6, perhaps M4 to M6, I'm not quite sure. So I think if it's too many, I'm going to shorten it, going to reduce it to have a few levels. That's secondary school, teachers and students at Bekonchai Bishopon School. I will have question later on about this because I don't work in this workplace. I'm not working this place. But I know somebody who's in English department the head of the department who is willing to help, willing to invite me around to do the research there. But regardless of that, whether it's suitable or not, so I need your advice later on because I don't work there, but I am interested in this sort of field. Consisting of course, 4 English teachers who teach M3 all the way up to M6. Like I said, I might reduce it one level of each, plus 160 students, at least 160 students, consisting of 40 students of each level, and of course, with a few teachers of the head of level M4 teacher, 5 and 6, perhaps 3 to 4 teachers involved in this as participants population. And in selecting the participant, the convenience of sampling methods is used. The largest population is too large. If it's too large, I will reduce it. So I need a recommendation later on. I've got the idea from Dr. Sam this morning, but then I will just stick to the old title that I've managed to send my first chapter. Therefore, they are selected by a simple random sampling technique, in which particular English classrooms are used as a sampling unit as well. So the research instruments I'm going to employ it's adapted questionnaire with open-ended questions, also with teachers teaching needs form as well. This form is created particularly to support the teacher's needs in terms of teaching techniques, the lack of following problematic matters. As you can see here, I've been inspired by these because I'm not sure whether this style is a principle or not, but it's my own principle since I've been a teacher all my life for the past 15 odd years in different schools, international schools, bilingual schools, retired schools, private schools, you name it. So I am now not working full time. So I'm working as a tutor now on my own, and also work part-time at the Large Part University teaching general education for some of the, basic students of year 1 and 2. So with this, I found out I would like to make use of the item 1, for example. I find this as one of the problematic matters of the teachers, like classroom management, the ability to manage classroom. Item 2, content knowledge, the ability to understand the depth of the content knowledge taught. Item 3, professionalism, the ability to maintain the contentment, quality of the teaching profession as well. Item 4, organization skills, ability to organize a lesson well and good standards of teaching procedures. So I've been inspired by this. And also in item 5, judgment, ability to encounter student learning difficulties and deal with good initiatives. And item 6, people skills, the ability to understand the students' needs, both their IQ and EQ, and to be able to develop the relationship of trust with the students at the same time. Item 7, commitment, ability to maintain and sustain commitment to the teaching job, etc. And the last one is a teaching style, in and all, once for all, from top to bottom. So this is really specifically involved with teaching style. There's the ability to reflect, determine the detrimental impact on the English language medical teaching in order to make an attentive attempt to change their teaching style for the sake of accelerating students' motivations. This actually comes from the 2 principles or theories that I found out from. I've gone through Benjamin Franklin about tell me and I forget, and teach me and I remember, and involve me and I learn, as well as from the William Arthur Ward about the medical teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. So I would like to make it possible in my field. Whether or not it's possible, so I need a big help from both sides. Students' needs form also, I've got a question in my mind. This works as a question if you like. So M3 to M6 secondary school students are content with having been taught by their English teachers, teaching style and vice versa or not, and what are the perceptions of M3 to M6 secondary school students in the use of the English course, materials and learning opportunities needed in their English classes. And the question number 3 is to what extent have the M3 to M6 secondary students met their expectations at the end of the course in terms of supplying their learning needs. Is all where I'm coming from. So the data collection of this is in this study. So in order to analyze the needs of M2 students, as you can see here, so the student in terms of teaching style to meet with the student's learning style, where motivation interactively ignited, and where areas both of teacher and students are merged and combined in the classroom observed by the researcher myself. As myself, the researcher. So perceptions towards the English class by means of an adapted questionnaire with open-ended questions that I would work out, based on those 8 items that I've out of my experience, whether it's useful or not. So we have to come up with what shall we say, the genuine design of the questionnaire or survey, if you like. And that's to say, this study will mostly be conducted having resources to descriptive research design with a view to clarify the needs of both stakeholders, teachers and students, in these regards. So, okay, the last but not least, though, I would just like to bottom up on this needs analysis because I have been inspired by this, whether or not it's appropriate or it's is suitable for this sort of research, I need your piece of advice. According to Jordan 1997, so needs analysis is a fundamental state of designing courses, teaching materials, and the sorts of education and activities that take place, as well as that of มาจากคนนี้ด้วย Rostami and the Nians of Kandi นะครับ back in 2014 stated that the needs analysis is a significant factor that should be discovered and negotiated in language teaching programs based on the issue that the school's English department ought to be set on both checking students' purposes and assessing their needs as well. And conclusion. So that's how you can see that therefore needs analysis is a base in which curriculum content, teaching materials and methods are constructed in line with Otilia 2015. It gives way to enhancing the student motivation and achievement as a result. And last but not least, is one as a result of the needs analysis should also crucially support teachers and help them teacher to define student professional needs and vice versa in terms of language teaching and learning skills. So Taiku, upon identifying the students' needs and English teachers' teaching style, meeting the needs of both stakeholders of great value and a set of the school in the field of academics affairs. So this is how I'm going to conduct my research as such. So please, at the end of my slide, your piece of advice, Professor. Thank you.
Well, it's quite difficult. I mean, and especially I'm not familiar with this type or this kind of research, but I can give you some suggestions about it. So I'm a bit confused about your focus. I mean, the focus is on the needs analysis of teachers or students.
I have sort of self-conflict, but I'm going to support both parties. So I'm actually for, but on. You know, Professor, you know what I mean? For, but on.
Okay.
For teachers.
It's gonna be too, I mean, yeah, but I don't know, but maybe it's good. But maybe if you focus on just one group, either teachers or students, but this is like too much work. If you do both, it's too much work, and I don't think that you will complete within like 2 or 3 years.
I've been told that way. I thought it's possible. It's not right because I'm not going through I haven't gone through the proper methodology of the thesis. This is my first time in my life.
Okay.
I've been teaching all my life, but not thesis. So this, I almost felt like giving up. But anyway, you're right. I've been suggested by Janomi as well that I should study the relationship between the two first, and then I should narrow down to maybe to only one focus topic. Am I right? Because the gap that I've read through one of the gaps. So most of the time they do with the teachers, you know, the researchers in the past, they do with the teachers, honestly, because teachers say, you know, the work is, you know, but they mention recommendations at the end of the thesis.
You're right.
I should look for some for students, you know, for the benefit of students. What do you think? So because students sometimes, you know, it's taboo, they have their own views about how the way the teachers teach, they have their own variations, but it's not exposed to the teachers. The teacher can accept the fact that the teacher, for example, the students may find it them difficult to learn because they've got different characteristics. Or, you know, I would like maybe focus on the teachers, you know, take the students' side, not take side in that sense, but, you know, to support them because they are, you know, they are the students for learning, needs. Yeah.
And there are 3 big words here. One is needs analysis. The second one is teaching style. And the last one is motivation. So it's something that you have to reconsider whether the focus is on needs analysis or the teaching style or motivation.
I would go for students so that I can pass on to teachers, open their mind, say this is the truth information that I can for students. Yeah, students better ครับแต่ตัดสินใจเลยตอนนี้ student motivation ดีกว่า okay ครับ
So my question is how are you going to relate between needs analysis and motivation? I don't see the connection between the two. I mean, needs analysis I don't know whether when you want to explore whether someone wants something and how the outcome of your study will relate to the motivation they have.
So what I understand about means analysis is about find out the problems, find out about the gaps, find out about what the way to solve the problems and stuff, or should I go directly to the point of the motivation better, you think?
Yeah, maybe you just focus on motivation. You don't not need to focus on needs analysis.
Yeah, otherwise it would be more methods involved, which I'm not good at.
Yeah, maybe if you want to take a look at motivation, there might be one big name or researcher, and his name is Donye. You may or you might want to read his work.
Please, I will tackle it. I will keep my fingers tipped. Thank you.
You may have an idea how he did this kind of research.
Yeah, that's true. So based on motivation, but student motivation. So what do you think I don't mean to be rude or be lazy asking these questions, but I'm not mean to really giving up on this, but I would like to ask you the proper title. Would you be so kind to state that for me so that I can be working my head around to it?
Okay.
Like motivation of something or effect of motivation or something? What do you think, please? I welcome to your...
Maybe if you take a look at just only the word motivation itself, the focus is on the qualitative study. So maybe you need to have the focus, what kind of motivation you want to focus on, and maybe you have to study more about research on this topic.
Motivation, I will.
Yes. And I'm sure that there are a lot of studies before about motivation, and then you can narrow down the topic and see the gap. That's something people haven't done before.
I should, because the reason I asked you this, because I need to relate to my next assignment coming up soon from Montenegro, because I could wholly agree with you about, I should rearrange the topic and narrow it down by background as well, like importance of English or importance of English teacher style, blah, 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 in general, in Thailand, in primary or secondary, or importance of motivation. Should I be focused on importance of motivation in learning, English in general, in L2, L1, L2, something like that, and find the gaps.
Probably you have just only 2 groups of your students. And compare their motivation.
I know. Wow, two group of students, two level group, like say M4, M5, or maybe M.
Maybe different. Different
classroom
of study, maybe math and science, and then English program to see. How different they are.
2 of each group. You mean 4 classrooms? Or
one from each. One from math.
One science students and one English.
One English student or something like that, and then you take a look at the motivation. Yes. Or maybe if you have like EP students, you can take a look at that group of students.
In that school, they have invited me partly around because it makes it easy for me to get to the access to the school, because it's difficult to you have to write up a letter, say the head department kind of person knows me, and she said, no, would you like to come around to my school and help out on this? So we wouldn't mind if because they know you. Something like that, instead of doing ballpark. I'm an alumni of ballpark, but it's hard to get access to it because I don't have connection.
You can do it.
Thank you.
You can do it very much. And then you don't need more participants. Maybe you need just only 5 from math and science, and then 5 from EP or something like that, and then you have to have the qualitative method to collect the data. Maybe they you interview them or something, and then you get the data. Okay, and this is like something that you could do.
Right. So to be straightforward, otherwise here and there everywhere, so we'll never be able to end it. I thought, you know, honestly, I thought this would be helpful in the future for my PhD if I can come up with an innovative, you know, like innovative tools or innovation on teaching.
Yeah.
I've been teaching all my life and involved in so many things that I've realized. I haven't realized until now that I have copied by accident the principles and the theories of those famous writers, famous theses, because I haven't read through that thesis, but I have done that without realizing it. That's my future anyway, but I would like to know this is my passion.
Maybe
Thank you very much.
you can do it.
Thank you. But no, that's still not yeah.
Something that you have to take a look at is that you have to study about how to conduct an interview.
Yeah,
yes. Your research instruments, it's something that you have to take a look, and how previous research studies did or have been done before about this. Yes, about the interview.
Okay.
Yes. And then you come up with the coding techniques, how you code your students' interview, like transcripts, and then you come up with the idea.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the abbreviation of this, the coding this.
Yes.
Meaning blah blah blah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then you compare between the two groups of students, math and science and EP students, and see whether they are motivated or not when learning English. Okay, this is just
the broad picture now. Thank you. The broad picture, but to narrow it down, the broad picture in the sense of narrowing it down. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's it. About my comment.
Very fruitful. Thank you. Very appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, ครับ do we have one more participant
ไลน์ไหมพี่จุ๋มของหญิงใช่ป่ะโอเคพี่เอาออกไปเลยนะตัดออกไปนะ
ค่ะเดี๋ยวจุ๋มจะขึ้นสไลด์เฉยๆนะคะแต่ว่าจุ๋มจะไม่ได้พรีเซนต์นะคะอาจารย์พี่หนุ่ม
อ้าวแล้วจะให้
หมายความว่าso what should I do so I just read her slides
แล้วจะถามจะตอบยังไงอ่ะก็งงอยู่นะครับ
ไม่ you're not supposed to be asking that you're supposed to be just suggesting or giving
just leave the questions ครับ just leave the question
โอเคมันก็จะดูงงๆนะ it's a bit confusing then
but maybe based on her chapter 1 that you have in hand, and then from the presentation that the PowerPoint slide that she sent, and then I will go just very slowly so you can.
Okay, I can read it, right? Okay.
Or we can help to explain the overall picture of her thesis.
Boss can help, and Tay can help, and Tim can help. Everyone can
present in the morning, help.
Yeah.
So maybe we can help.
Okay. Is that okay for you, Ka?
Okay, fine.
How much time do we have? Are you leaving us soon or
No. There is no time limitation for me.
Oh, okay. So here we go.
But we're really not sure that we can answer your question in deep details นะครับ
Is this the presentation she gave this morning, and we listened to her presentation this morning, and probably we'll see if we can help her out with this, because we're not doing or conducting this research, but we're presenting it for her as a friend, as a classmate. Okay.
How nice.
Very nice of me, right? Okay นะคะ
ชื่ออะไรนะครับ
ชื่อพรหมพันธ์ค่ะพี่หนุ่ม
พรหมพันธ์
ทำเรื่องเนี่ยค่ะคล้ายพี่หนุ่ม
โอเค
Okay, can you see it? Okay, needs analysis and cost development on English language functions for screeners at Buriram Airport.
Okay. Okay.
โอเคไหมคะ
Okay. I read it. I remember.
Okay. So for her research design, it's going to be quantitative research. This is a survey research design which analyzes English for specific purposes, ESP, needed for or by screeners of Buriram airports. Also investigates the English language functions for screeners while delivering their services, and developed the English for specific purposes manual for screeners at the airports. This is her research design, and then for population and samples, that will be 23 samples, which is all of the screeners who works at the Buriram airport right now. They have like 23 of them. So she's going to include all of them for her population and samples. And for her research instruments, sets of questionnaires will be used, and sorry for this one. Okay, the first research tool that will be used is the questionnaire. There are 2 questionnaires. First is the set to find out the needs, functions, and problems of English used in Buriram Airport screener. Probably, plural, because they have 23 of them. The result used to create and develop an ESP manual to improve their skills. And the second thing that she's going to employ to verify the satisfaction with an ESP manual. And so both of the questions include 4 parts. The first one is personal information, checklists, and a 5 rating scale, and suggests and recommendations with an open-ended question. The questionnaires write in Thai language for the reasons to release the problem that may occur of the language ambiguity or misinterpretation. So the questionnaire will start by drafting by researcher by herself, Miss Prompan, from exploring in many related studies, and rewrite to a complete version after asking for suggestion and approving from 2 English instructors to ensure the validity. And the Cronbach alpha coefficients used to calculate the results obtained a value nearly with 1, which consider high for the reliability. So I'm not sure about the name or anything else, but I'll just move on. And for the research instruments, which is the ESP manual to the developed course that she's going to do, the manual created and developed from the operation manual and related regulations for screeners in the airport into languages, including both English and Thai, consists of 4 parts. The first part is going to be general English. The second part is specific English for screeners. And the third part is going to deal with customers in some situations. And the last part is going to be relating to vocabularies used by those screeners. And I'm going to move on to data collection. Data collection will be collected after completed the first questionnaire and receiving a permission to conduct a study from a population's authority. The researcher delivers the questionnaire to participants in the Buriram airport by herself because she works there. She's the officer working at the airport herself. So that's why it's quite convenient for her to do this on her own instead of doing online or instead of doing via like mail or post. And then she's going to gather the data to analyze their needs for developing an ESP manual afterwards. So, and for a few weeks later, which means afterwards, she's going to arrange and hand over the manual that modified and completed by the 2 English instructor to the target subjects, which is those who works at the airport. And the researcher is going to ask them to fill out the final questionnaires to analyze their satisfaction on the manual. And then next, for her data analysis, she's going to use the statistical package for the social science, which is SPSS, to analyze the data in different statistical functions to answer all the questions of the study. It consists of the following. The first one is the IOC to calculate the content validity of the questionnaire. The second one, she's going to use the Cronbach alpha coefficient to calculate the reliability of the questionnaire. And also the third statistics used will be frequency to analyze the function and problems of English language used for by screeners at the Buriram airport. And the last one, she's going to use mean and standard deviation SD to analyze the average level of English skill needs of screeners. The highest mean score in each activity showed more needs. On the other hand, the lower mean score showed levels of need in descending order. The SD were used to indicate the respondents within each group. Okay. And probably, okay. So for data analysis and for number 5 here, a 5-point Likert scale were used to score the level of English language needs for screeners at Buriram Airport based on the following criteria. 5, which means the highest need. 4, high need. 3, moderate need. 2, low need, and 1 will be the lowest need. And that's all she got, Ajahn Pinom. And thank you for the Q&A session. Maybe Thanakorn will stand by, Natapat will stand by, and Pimpika will stand by, and Pracharat Pinum will stand by to help.
Okay.
You're so good.
It's, I don't know, it's quite difficult for me to give comments and suggestions for this work because, you know, it's I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm not familiar with this kind of research as well. But so my question is, what is the ultimate goal of doing this research?
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe we can take notes of your question for her, and then maybe.
Yes. What is?
I think,
what is the ultimate goal of doing this? I mean, what is the purpose of doing it?
I think her main purpose of doing this research is to produce a material that can be used to teach the screeners at Viram Airport.
Okay, you mean material development?
Yes, yes.
Okay, maybe if she wants to do something like that, maybe he or she, I'm not sure, she, right?
Yeah, it's a she.
Okay, she needs to focus on material development, which is the, what is it? The booklet or the manual, ใช่ไหม?
The manual, yes.
A manual ค่ะ
Okay. So, she wants to conduct a needs analysis first, and then to see whether there are some language skills available, and come up with the materials in the end.
Yes, and use the material and find out the satisfaction again.
Okay, I see now.
Find out the ใช่หาความพอใจหลังจากที่ใช้แล้วไหมคะ
Okay. So there are some research tools such as questionnaires first, right?
Yes.
Okay. My concern or my question is about how is she going to have her own questionnaire? Is she going to do it herself? I mean, the format of the questionnaire, and what contents should be included in the questionnaire? How could she get the ideas? Yes, and one more thing about doing a questionnaire or administering the questionnaire is that you need to have a pilot study first somewhere else, and then use it again when you want to administer the questionnaire. It means that it has been statistical proof that the questionnaire itself is valid in order to be used again.
So you mean she has to try out her questionnaire somewhere else
to do pilot study? Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere else, not the same place.
Not at the airport.
Yeah, I mean the airport somewhere else.
Another airport.
Another airport.
Another airport.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she can use that questionnaire again with her own airport. Yes. Okay. One is, what contents should it be in the questionnaire? And second, she should try out that questionnaire first somewhere else before it can be used with her own airport. Okay. And my question number 3 is she one of the screeners, or is she doing other jobs there?
She is herself one of the screeners.
Okay. The problem is that I'm not sure I should talk about this or not, because whenever you do research now, it's quite mandatory, or it is required that when you do research with people, you have to have a permission to do. Yes, it's called the อันนี้ขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยหน่อยเนาะว่าอันนี้ผมไปทำมาเนาะเขาบอกว่าถ้าสมมุติว่าเราจะทดลองวิจัยใดๆในมนุษย์เนี่ยเราต้องได้รับการอนุญาตก่อนโดยเนี่ยเขาเรียกว่าต้องผ่านการอบรมจริยธรรมการวิจัยในมนุษย์ถ้าเราจะทำอะครับ
ต้องผ่านการอบรมเลยเหรอคะ
ใช่คือหมายความว่าในปัจจุบันน่ะระยะงานวิจัย5 ปีหลังมานะครับอันนี้ขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยเนาะว่าถ้าเราจะทำวิจัยใดๆก็ตามที่เกี่ยวข้องกับมนุษย์เนี่ยเราจะต้องขออนุญาต นะครับถ้าสมมุติว่างานวิจัยนั้นจะต้องได้รับการตีพิมพ์นะครับอันเนี้ยผมไม่แน่ใจว่าถ้าเป็นงานวิจัยระดับปริญญาโทแล้วก็ไม่ได้รับการตีพิมพ์เนี่ยจำเป็นต้องทำไหมนะครับแต่ว่าถ้าสมมติว่าอย่างเช่นงานวิจัยใดๆก็ตามในปัจจุบันถ้าสมมุติว่าจะต้องทำกับคนนะครับเราจะต้องขออนุญาตไปที่หน่วยงานเนี้ยในมหาลัยของเราก่อนซึ่งมันจะมีหน่วยงานที่เรียกว่าสำนักงานวิจัยในมนุษย์อะไรสักอย่างของมหาลัยอะครับเราต้องขออนุญาตก่อน
น่าจะต้องขอก่อนแล้วค่ะแต่เพียงแต่ว่าเราไม่ได้ผ่านการอบรมค่ะพี่หนุ่มหมายความว่าอย่างของพิมพ์ก็ต้องทำกับเด็กถูกไหมคะ
ใช่
อย่างของพี่บ
ก็
อ
ต้อง
ส
ผ่านการอบรมแล้วก็
ทำกับนักศึกษา
ได้ใบ certificate แบบนี้ด้วยครับ
อ๋อ
ใช่อันเนี้ยพอดีผมไปอบเมื่อสักปีที่แล้วนี่มั้งแต่มันมีให้ทำออนไลน์ได้ครับของสกของ
สกอเหรอคะ
ไม่ของ
สช
อะไรมันอันใหม่เนี่ยชื่อกระทรวงใหม่กระทรวงวอะไรนะครับวอหรือเปล่ากระทรวงใหม่กระทรวงใหม่กระทรวงอะไรนะผมไม่แน่ใจ
อุดมศึกษาวิจัยและนวัตกรรมนะคะ
ใช่มันมีให้เราสามารถอบรมได้ทางออนไลน์แต่ว่าอายุการใช้งานจะทำได้2 ปีครับหมายความว่าถ้าในระยะนั้นน่ะเราสามารถได้รับการอนุญาตให้ทำได้2 ปีแต่ว่าถ้าได้รับการอบรมแบบใบอย่างเงี้ยในห้องอ่ะจะอนุญาตให้ทำได้5 ปีครับถ้าเขาเปิดอบรมที่ไหนอ่ะก็ไปได้ครับแต่ว่าเขามีลิงก์ให้อยู่เดี๋ยวผมจะหามาให้ว่าถ้าสมมติว่าใกล้จะทำจริงๆอ่ะนะครับเดี๋ยวจะจำเป็นที่จะต้องเข้าไปอบรมออนไลน์แล้วเขาจะมีใบเซอร์ติฟิเคตให้สามารถนำมาใช้ในระยะ2 ปีที่เราทำวิจัยได้ว่าเราจะเก็บงานวิจัยกับในมนุษย์เนี่ยนะครับไม่ว่าเกี่ยวข้องกับคนเนี่ยครับต้องได้รับการอนุญาตก่อนแล้วทีนี้เขามีกฎอยู่พอสมควรตรงที่ว่า1ผู้วิจัยจะต้องไม่มีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียกับงานวิจัยชิ้นนั้นเช่นของปัญหาของพรหมพรก็คือหมายความว่าเขาเป็นหนึ่งในเจ้าหน้าที่เขาจะไม่สามารถทำงานชิ้นนี้ได้
เดี๋ยวนะคะพี่หนุ่มขออนุญาตค่ะพี่บอสพี่จุ๋มตอบคำถามถูกไหมว่าพรหมพันธ์ก็เป็นหนึ่งใน screeners
ไม่ชัวร์เลยครับไม่ทราบเลยว่าเป็นหัวหน้างาน security หรือว่ายังไงไหม
ถ้าสมมุติว่าอันนี้เป็นข้อห้ามอย่างหนึ่งนะครับว่าถ้าสมมุติว่าเราจะเก็บข้อมูลอย่างเช่นของเมื่อกี้พิมพ์นิกาผมก็ลืมพูดไปนะครับว่าถ้าเราเป็นอาจารย์สอนในนักเรียนกลุ่มนั้นเนี่ยแล้วเราจะมีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียเช่นให้เขามาเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของงานวิจัยเราแล้วเราจะให้คะแนนเขาแบบเนี้ยก็งานวิจัยก็บอกว่าจะมีผลต่อเด็กเขาก็จะไม่อนุญาตให้ทำเช่นเดียวกันดังนั้นเนี่ยเราต้องหากลุ่มอื่นที่เราไม่ได้มีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียกับงานวิจัยครับซึ่งเขาออกมาพอสมควรเลยในปัจจุบันนี้ก็คือมีรายละเอียดปลีกย่อยพอสมควรครับที่ว่าเราจะต้องไม่เกี่ยวข้องกับบุคคลที่เราจะทำงานวิจัยด้วยถ้าเราจะทำเนี่ยก็ได้แต่ว่าเราให้คนอื่นเป็นคนเก็บข้อมูลได้ครับแบบนี้เขาจะมีรายละเอียดปลีกย่อยอยู่ครับเดี๋ยวผมเพิ่งนึกออกแหละนะครับขอโทษทีเพิ่งได้พูดว่ามันต้องมีตรงนี้ด้วยครับแต่ว่าคำถามก็คือว่าพรหมอะไรนะพรหมพันธ์ใช่ไหมครับพรหมพันธ์ไม่ได้เป็นหนึ่งในคนที่เก็บข้อมูลชิ้นนี้ใช่ไหมครับ
พรหมพันธ์น่ะเขาเป็นหัวหน้างานอยู่ที่สนามบินแล้วเขาก็
เขามีส่วนได้ส่วนเสียกับงานวิจัยนี้ไหมครับ
จุ๋มตอบไม่ได้
ส่วนเสียแปลว่าอะไรอะคะ
เช่นมีผลต่อการเลื่อนตำแหน่งมีผลต่อเพื่อนร่วมงานเช่นอย่างเช่นถ้าครูก็คือเช่นครูมีสิทธิ์ให้เกรดถ้าเด็กไม่ร่วมงานวิจัยอย่างเงี้ยครับ
คราวนี้มันมีแบ็กกราวน์นิดนึงเดี๋ยวพี่เล่าให้หน่งฟังก็คือว่าเจ้าหน้าที่ที่สนามบินเนี่ยไม่ได้จบเอกอังกฤษนี้ปัญหาที่ตามมาก็คือว่าผู้โดยสารเป็นชาวต่างชาติเวลามีปัญหาอะไรก็จะสื่อสารได้ยากมากนั้นก็เลยมีความหน่วยงานก็เลยมีความต้องการที่จะพัฒนาบทเรียนจริงๆแล้วเป้าหมายเขาก็คือว่าเขาต้องการจะพัฒนาบทเรียนภาษาอังกฤษเพื่ออบรมบุคลากร
ใช่ไหมครับ
ฮะ
เป็น material development ใช่ไหมครับเป็น
จริงๆแล้วเป้าหมายเขาจะทำเป็นบทเรียนขึ้นมาเพื่อที่จะมาอบรมเจ้าหน้าที่เนื่องจากเจ้าหน้าที่เนี่ยใช้ภาษาได้ไม่ดี
เป็น
เพราะว่า
course
เขาไม่ได้จบเอกอัง
development
กฤษ
ใช่ไหมค
เขา
รับ
ไม่ได้รับเอกอังกฤษใช่
อ๋อ
ใช่
เป็น course development ใช่ไหมครับ
Course development
ใช่ค่ะ
ตาม
เป้าหมายของเขาคือแบบนั้น
อ๋อ ถ้าอย่างนั้นก็เปลี่ยนเป็น course development ก็ได้ คืออาจจะไม่จำเป็นต้องไป
Need analysis ใช่ไหม
ใช่ไปแจก questionnaire เฉยๆ แล้วก็เราก็เอามามีส่วนในการทำคอร์สของเราอย่างเงี้ยครับ แต่ว่ามันก็ต้องเก็บกับคนอยู่ดี เพราะว่าคนที่ตอบอ่ะเป็นเจ้าหน้าที่ใช่ไหมครับ
ที่ปฏิบัติงานจริงอะไรอย่าง
ใช่
เงี้ย
ใช่ เว้น
คือ
สิ
ค
แต่
ล้า
ว่า
ยๆกับว่าที่มหาลัยเนี่ยเราทำ need analysis กันเยอะมากแล้วก็จะเป็น format แบบนี้คือว่าเราจะต้องไปถามเขาก่อนว่าเขาอยากเรียนอะไรเขาจำเป็นต้องใช้ภาษาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแล้วก็เอาคำตอบจาก questionnaire เนี่ยมาสร้างบทเรียน เพราะฉะนั้นพรหมพันธ์ก็อาจจะได้ไอเดียมาจากอาจารย์ผู้สอนด้วยเนาะว่ามันจะต้องเป็นสเต็ปแบบนี้นะไปหา
โอเค
need
ครับ
มาก่อนเนี่ย
อ๋อ
ค่ะแล้วก็มา
เข้าใจ
พัฒนาบทเรียนนะแล้วก็ลองเอาบทเรียนเนี่ยมา try out อย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
โอ
ประ
เค
มาณ
โอเค เข้าใจแล้วครับ needs analysis ก็คือเป็นการแจก questionnaire ใช่ไหมครับ
เพื่อ survey ไงคะว่าเขาอยากเรียนเรื่องอะไรเขาอยากรู้เรื่องอะไรป
อ๋
ระ
อ
มาณนี้
โอเค ทีนี้ก็มีคำถาม อันนี้ก็ไหนๆก็พูดภาษาไทยแล้วเนาะ ก็คืออย่างที่บอกตอนแรกว่าเขาจะต้องมี questionnaire ซึ่งได้รับการ try out แล้วจากคนอื่นก็ได้ที่ได้รับการรับรองแล้วว่ามันได้รับการตรวจสอบทางสถิติแล้วว่าใช้ได้อะครับ
หมายถึง questionnaire สำเร็จรูปเลยใช่ไหม
ใช่
คะ
สำเร็จรูปแล้วเราเอามาปรับได้ แต่ว่าถ้า questionnaire เนี้ยไม่มีคนทำเลย ไม่มีคนใช้เลย ก็จะต้องเอาไปสร้างเองแล้วก็ต้องเอาไป try out ก่อนที่จะมาใช้จริงอะครับ อันนี้ตามที่เข้าใจนะครับ แต่ว่าก็อาจจะต้องปรับนิดนึงเพราะว่าไม่แน่ใจเหมือนกันว่าแต่ละที่เหมือนกันหรือเปล่าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับ โอเคนะครับ คือเจ้าตัวไม่อยู่ก็คงตอบยากเนาะ ดังนั้นก็คงต้องถามเขาทีหลังแล้วกันครับ
ค่ะไม่เป็นไรค่ะเดี๋ยวเราจะเก็บข้อมูลไว้ให้น้องเขาแล้วก็เดี๋ยวเราจะส่งต่อ feedback ที่พี่หนุ่มให้เนี่ยค่ะ
ได้ครับ ก็คือถามเรื่อง questionnaire ได้มาจากไหน โอเค one is how did she get the questionnaire format from or where okay so and the second one is that is she one of the screeners there okay but if it is I mean if she is one of them so she needs to study something about the ethics in doing research with people
โอเคค่ะ
ครับ and my final comment is that what is the what is the ultimate goal of doing this อันนี้ก็ถามไปแล้วเนาะก็ถามอีกรอบหนึ่งแล้วกันว่าท้ายที่สุดแล้วก็คือได้อะไรก็คือเพราะบังเอิญว่าตอบไปแล้วเมื่อกี้ว่าเป็นบทเรียนนะครับเป็นบทเรียนแต่ว่าในที่เนี้ยเมื่อกี้อ่านมามันเป็น manuals นะครับท้ายที่สุดแล้วก็คือไม่แน่ใจว่าตกลงว่าจะเป็นบทเรียนหรือว่าเป็น manuals
รบกวนพี่บอส clarify ให้หน่อยได้ไหมคะ
เหมือนจริงๆความตั้งใจแรกของพี่หนิงน่าจะเป็นการสร้างแมนนวลขึ้นมาเพื่อให้สตาฟเนี่ยไปศึกษาด้วยตัวเองแต่พอเปลี่ยนมาเรื่อยๆนี่ก็อาจจะเปลี่ยนกลายเป็นคอร์ส development แบบเป็นคอร์สอบรมแล้วล่ะครับคิดว่านะครับ
แล้วพี่หญิงก็ต้องไปอบรมให้
แล้วตัวคอร์สต้องไป
ก็ต้องถ้าเป็นคอร์สก็ต้องเอาไปสอนจริงๆ
ก็ต้องเอาไปสอนใช่ไหม
ใช่
มันก็จะเพิ่มงานอีกไหมครับมันถ้าไปสอนจริงๆก็อาจจะเพิ่มงานเราไม่รู้ว่า2 ปีจะทำเสร็จหรือเปล่าครับทำนองนั้นคอร์สเพราะว่ามันจะเยอะอยู่นะครับแต่ถ้าสมมุติว่าเราทำเป็นแค่สมมุติเราเคยเห็นแบบเป็นวิดีโอแนะนำดีไหมอย่างเช่นสมมุติว่าเป็นแบบ วิดีโอแนะนำการท่องเที่ยวแล้วเราก็เช่นบอกว่าถ้าคุณจะไปขึ้นรถคุณจะต้องทำยังไงให้ขึ้นรถไปต่างประเทศสมมุติเนาะว่าเราจะไปใช้รถไฟใต้ดินเราต้องไปซื้อบัตรที่ไหนหยอดเหรียญตรงไหนแล้วก็ไปตรงไหนแล้วก็มีคำอธิบายถ้าสมมุติแค่เป็นว่าเป็นวิดีโอแมนนวลผมไม่รู้ว่าเขาใช้คำว่าอะไรนะครับแบบนั้นน่าจะดีกว่าแล้วใช้เวลาสั้นกว่าที่จะเอาไปสอนจริงๆไหมครับให้ดูจากวิดีโอตรงนั้นอย่างเงี้ยครับ
หมายถึงทำวิดีโอแทนที่จะทำเป็นคอร์สบุ๊กใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่
แทนที่จะออกมาเป็น printed publication หรือว่าอะไรอย่างนี้ก็ทำเป็นแผ่นเป็นอะไรอย่างเงี้ยนะคะเป็น
instruction ที่เป็นวิดีโอ instructions นะผมไม่รู้ต้องไปหาคำมาใช้ครับไม่รู้จะใช้คำว่าอะไรคืออย่างเช่นสมมติว่าเราจะไปที่ไหนดีอะไปซื้อตั๋วรถไฟต่างประเทศเนาะสมมุติอย่างเงี้ยครับแล้วเขาก็จะมีวิดีโอสั้นๆให้เราดูว่าถ้าเราจะไปเราต้องไปซื้อตั๋วที่ไหนไปหยอดเหรียญยังไงกดตรงไหนแล้วก็เหรียญยังไงแล้วก็ไปยังไงอะไรเงี้ยแบบนั้นน่าจะดีกว่าไหมครับถ้าสมมติว่ามันจะใช้เวลาสั้น
แล้วใครจะอยู่ในวิดีโอคะหมายถึงว่าต้องเป็น
เจ้าหน้าที่อะครับเจ้าหน้าที่ที่ทำจริง
หมายถึงเจ้าหน้าที่ในสนามบินอย่างนี้ใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่อันนี้เป็นความคิดที่พอจะทำได้เนาะถ้าผมว่าไปสอนจะใช้เวลานานไหมแล้วก็ต้องมีกี่บทเรียนแล้วก็จะใช้เวลานานอันนี้พูดถึงว่าความเป็นไปได้ว่าถ้าสอนมันก็ดีครับแต่ว่ามันจะใช้เวลานานมากเลยนะครับกว่าจะได้คอร์สออกมาแล้วกว่าจะเอาไปสอนถ้าสมมติว่าท้ายที่สุดเราก็คือทำ needs analysis เสร็จดู questionnaire แล้วเขาต้องการอะไรแล้วเราก็ทำเป็นวิดีโอ presentation ออกมา
แล้วก็ใส่คำศัพท์ใส่อะไรลงไปอย่างนี้
ใช่แล้วก็มีเสียงคนพากย์ด้วยถ้าเขาฟังไม่ทันเขาก็รีฟังได้อย่างเงี้ยครับกรอฟังได้ว่าเวลาที่จะเจอแขกจะมาพูดแบบเนี้ยก็เขาจะพูดว่าไงแล้วเราต้องตอบว่าไงอย่างเงี้ยครับเป็นวิดีโอก็
เสียดายแทนน้องเขาจังเลยค่ะที่น้องเขาไม่ได้มาฟังเองอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแต่เราจะพยายามถ่ายทอดทุกคำพูดที่พี่หนุ่มแนะนำนะคะ
ก็น่าจะใช้เวลาสั้นมากกว่าที่จะไปสอนไหมครับถ้าเป็นแค่เป็นวิดีโอ presentation ให้ดูแล้วก็ถ้าสมมุติว่าอาจจะจำเป็นต้องอาศัย connection ในการหาฝรั่งที่จะไปแสดงให้ดูอะครับว่าอาจจะเป็นฝรั่งจริงๆก็ได้อาจจะเป็นชาวเอเชียที่สำเนียงฟังยากๆหรือใครเราให้มันหลากหลายนิดนึงเพื่อเขาจะได้คุ้นกับสำเนียงนะครับก็อาจจะไม่ได้มีแค่คนเดียวในวิดีโอนั้นนะครับถ้าเขาทำได้นะครับแต่ว่ามันก็คงยากอยู่เอาได้ให้ได้คนเดียวก่อนก็พอก็ได้ครับ
เหมือนช่วงตอนเช้าที่เขาพรีเซนต์เขาบอกว่าจะให้เหมือนกับว่าผู้เชี่ยวชาญไปสอนสัก 2-3 บทเรียนใช่ไหมคะจำได้ไหมผู้ฟังจำได้ไหมนะคะไม่ได้สอนทั้งหมดด้วยเหมือนกับว่าสอนประมาณสัก 2-3 บทเรียนแล้วเหมือน try out หาค่าเล็กน้อยว่าบทเรียนที่เขาสร้างขึ้นเนี่ยโอเคไหมและหลังจากนั้นเขาจะไปถามความพึงพอใจของสตาฟเขาว่าเขาพอใจในบทเรียนที่สร้างขึ้นนี้ไหมอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
เข้าใจแล้วครับแต่ทีนี้คำถามของผมก็คือว่าถ้าสมมติว่าเราไม่สอนทั้งหมดก็ได้ใช่ไหมครับหรือยังไงครับอันนี้คือไม่แน่ใจครับ
จริงๆแล้วเวลาเรา try out ไอ้ lesson plan เราก็ต้องสอนทั้งหมดนะคะไม่เคยสอนบางแผนนะคะไม่เหมือน
แต่ตอนที่เด็กนำเสนอคือจะทำแค่ไม่กี่อันใช่ไหมครับไม่ทำหมด
ใช่ค่ะที่เขาพูดเมื่อเช้านะคะ
โอเคถ้าอย่างนั้นวิธีที่ดีที่สุดน่าจะเป็นวิดีโอ presentation เพื่อประหยัดเวลาเนาะถ้าสมมติว่ามันทำคอร์สไม่ได้ก็เป็นวิดีโอ presentation แล้วกันเหมือนแบบเวลาเราไปสนามบินเราจะผ่านตม.หรืออะไรยังไงก็ให้เขาทำทุกขั้นตอนแล้วก็อาจจะต้องมีค่าใช้จ่ายเกี่ยวกับการหาคนมาอัดทำแคปชั่นแล้วก็ให้ฟังเสียงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับ
แล้วหมายถึงว่าบทเรียนนี้ก็คือพวกสตาฟเอาไปเรียนเองถูกไหม
ใช่เอาไปเรียนเองใช่ครับเอาไปเรียนเองแล้วหลังจากนั้นพอเขาเอาไปเรียนเองแล้วเราก็ให้เขามาตอบคำถามว่าเรียนแล้วเป็นยังไงเรียนด้วยตนเองเหมือนเป็น self study วิดีโออะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับเราไม่ต้องไปสอนจริงนะครับ
แต่เราก็ต้องให้เวลาเขาให้เขาไปศึกษาซึ่งไม่รู้ว่าเขาจะมีเวลาหรือเปล่าเนาะเพราะว่าพวกนี้เขาทำงานหนักมากเขามีบุคลากรน้อยมาก
ใช่ครับ อาจจะมีแค่ไม่กี่ lesson ก็ได้อาจจะมีสัก3-4 lesson ที่เอาจำเป็นผมว่ามันน่าจะไม่มีขั้นตอนเยอะนะครับเอาคร่าวๆเบื้องต้น
แต่ข้อดีก็คือว่าหมายถึงว่ามันมีคอมเมอร์เชียลที่ทำเกี่ยวกับว่าat the airport เยอะมากแต่ว่าที่จะบอกว่าตรงใจจริงๆที่เขาได้ใช้จริงๆเนาะมันน่างานของเขาน่าจะน่าสนใจถ้าเกิดเขาสามารถสะท้อนออกมาได้จริงๆเนาะ
ครับหรือไม่ก็เขาไปศึกษาจากตรงนั้นแล้วก็เอามาปรับเป็นเลสเซ่นของตัวเองที่มันเกี่ยวข้องกับสนามบินก็ได้นะครับ
ตอนแรกเขาจะทำแบบนี้มั้งคะแล้วก็รู้สึกอาจารย์นวมินทร์เปลี่ยนให้เขาหรือเปล่าคะตอนแรกเขาจะวิเคราะห์สิ่งที่มันมีอยู่ในท้องตลาดนี่แหละค่ะ
อ๋อโอเคเข้าใจแล้วครับคือผมกลัวแค่นั้นเองว่ามันจะใช้เวลานานถ้าสมมติว่าเราจะต้องไปสอนจริงๆนะครับ
ใช่แล้วเขาก็คือเป็นคนที่ไม่มีเวลาแล้วค่ะเพราะว่างานของเขาเนี่ยมันมีบุคลากรน้อยมากในขณะที่สนามบินเนี่ยก็มีงานเยอะแต่ว่าช่วงนี้เป็นโควิดเขาน่าจะดีต่อเขาอะไรเงี้ย
ใช่ครับ
รีบทำงาน
แล้วทีนี้ถ้าไปสอนก็จะมีปัญหาเรื่องการมี distancing อีกครับว่าถ้าครูเข้าไปจะต้องสอนยังไงมันก็จะมานั่งรวมกันเป็นกลุ่ม20-30 คนมันก็จะเกิดปัญหาเกี่ยวกับโควิดอีกเนี่ยครับถ้าอยู่ในช่วงระยะเวลานี้ผมว่าโควิดก็คงยังอยู่กับประเทศไทยไปอีกสักพักหนึ่งครับถ้าเอาข้อนี้ไปอ้างน่าจะบอกได้ว่าเราแค่ทำวิดีโอแมนนวลแล้วก็ให้เขาไปศึกษาเองแล้วหลังจากนั้นก็มาตอบคำถามมาอินเทอร์วิวเก็บข้อมูลตรงนี้ครับ
มันน่าจะเข้ากับสถานการณ์เนาะ
ใช่น่าจะเข้ากับสถานการณ์คือไม่สามารถไปสอนเองทุกวันนี้อาจารย์ก็ยังสอนในห้องไม่ได้เลยครับทุกคนก็ยังสอนออนไลน์ใช่ครับ
ครูก็เจอเด็กไม่ได้เลย
ครับ
โอเคค่ะ
อันนี้ก็ประมาณนี้นะครับเพราะว่ายากอยู่เรื่องเหล่านี้ผมไม่ค่อยถนัดเท่าไหร่ครับ
โอเค thank you very much อาจารย์นงนะคะ for the fruitful suggestion that shed light on improving the student thesis นะคะ okay so
I'm happy to be here but I'm not sure whether I can help but I try my best
I feel sure that the student will gain lots of idea right maybe you can change or just improve a bit of your research so คุณพนิดา would you like to say something to our commentator today
น่าจะเป็นคุณก็จริงๆอยากให้น้องๆได้มีส่วน
คุณโอเค so please call the name
พี่บอสครับ
โอเคคุณธนากร please
yes I don't know what to say but I have only one word in my mind right now that is thank you very much because you have inspired me like lots of things you have advised us like giving suggestion a lot of suggestion that are really useful and I hope we all can adapt something from your suggestion and
yes.
yeah thank you for your very fruitful suggestion and yeah we feel really like honored to have you here today thank you so much
you're welcome so
thank you
so you don't have to apply all just some of them I mean some of the ideas that are applicable to your study and your university yes
okay can you leave your email in order to contact later if they have got some questions
okay I'll write it down on the screen okay wait a moment เดี๋ยวนะครับหยุดแชร์แล้วเนาะโอเคเดี๋ยวผมจะเขียนให้นะครับเขียนในไหนดีเขียนในช่องแชทละกันนะครับ
ดิฉันจะแอบถ่ายรูปนะมันมืดไปหน่อย
อาจารย์ไม่ต้องแอบค่ะจุมถ่ายเยอะอยู่ค่ะ แล้วก็บันทึกวิดีโอด้วยค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ thank you ค่ะคุณจุ๋ม
ครับ ความจริงอัดวิดีโอไว้ด้วยนะครับ แล้วก็เดี๋ยวจะส่งให้ครับ เดี๋ยวหยุด